Welcome back, my Duelist friends. Casual Duelist here, and quick note about today's Crystal Beast build. It's not mine. My wife got a hold of my cards, and she said very, I don't want to say forcefully, but with much authority, that I would be showing her version of this deck because I didn't let her do the common charity build. So, she had full access to my cards. She's seen me playing for the last year. She's been helping out with the playtesting. This is what she came up with. Full credit goes to the Celestial Duelist. Let's get into this deck today, okay? So, first things first, we are going to be using 2 copies of Amber Mammoth. Really, we're just using this for a star level, and the fact that he fits with the theme. 3 Carbuncles, because that's still standard. 3 Pegasus, because that's still standard. And 3 Topaz Tigers. Now, this is where the Crystal Beast ends for the monsters. And again, I think you guys are going to understand why here in just a quick second. A couple of things I didn't have in the last build were Goblinbergs. She's decided to play them. Good on her. And 3 copies of Summoner Monk, because she really did like that bit of strategy. And she has decided to heck with the budget. We're going to go ahead and add Red Eyes, Black Dragon, and Dark Magician. So I think you guys understand at some point we will be playing Dragoon now. Because I don't know what else you do when you have these 2 cards and none of their support. So give you guys a quick second to go ahead, screenshot, or make your notes. And I will go ahead and get this cleaned up for you. Alright, now that that's all cleaned up, the rest of the deck is all spells. We have no traps. She said no solemn strikes, casual. You can't play them because I don't want them in there. So she said start it off with 1 copy called by the Grave, 3 copies of Beacon, as she prefers to play her Ruby Carbuncle from the deck, 2 copies of Crystal Blessing, 2 copies of Crystal Promise, 3 copies of Crystal Release. She's going for the single double or nothing. And guys, I know that you saw the lightning as part of our little cover art today. But yeah, she's going all the way. She's double dipping. She's getting multiple win conditions in here. It's going to be awesome. Single Feather Duster, single Monster Reborn, double Raigekai or Raigeki, 3 copies Rare Value, the single copy Red Eyes Fusion, and an Upstart Goblin. Because as she said, Dragoon is not going to give a crap that they got that extra 1,000 life points. She says, get that extra draw card in there, and it'll do more damage than having a 3rd copy of Raigeki. So I actually agree with her. And just real quick, let me get this cleaned up, and it will get you guys that extra deck too. All right, off to the really expensive, really cool extra deck. And she didn't just pull just the best. She pulled all of my favorite headliners out of my boxes today. So obviously we are leading off with Dragoon, single copy. Divine Arsenal Zeus, because again, if the 1 strike fails with Utopia or Lightning just doesn't get off enough damage, we need to be able to go ahead and change our stance from offense to defense. Go ahead and control the field. Much in the same vein, she's pulled my Exiton Knight out today. 2 copies of Utopia, 2 different arts, I guess to mix it up. Single copy of Utopia Double. Single copy number 60 Dagaris, the Timeless. And single copy S39 Utopia, the Lightning. So super cool lineup of Xyz monsters today. And then again, just kind of back to basics when it comes to our links. Single copy Boral Sword, single IP, single for Cerberus, Phoenix, Unicorn, Vert Anaconda, of course. And she's also topped it off with my Underworld Goddess of the Closed World. So again, pretty cool lineup. But again, like she said, you know, to heck with the budget today. We don't need to make a budget build. This isn't common charity. Play what's going to get you there. And so, like, I'm going to do some test hands with this thing tomorrow. I personally haven't played this yet. She says she got, like, an 85% through her gauntlet of wins. So, fairly consistent, seems like. And, yeah, so everybody who was just here for the deck list, thank you guys for stopping by. Always a pleasure to have you here. Again, huge thanks to Celestial for making this deck for us. If you guys want to support the channel, go ahead and click subscribe. If you already did that, though, just keep watching the channel. That's all you got to do. And most importantly, go out and try to have a great day. That's probably more important than subscribing. So if you don't subscribe, do that. Go have a good day. For everybody else, though, we are going to go over all of the effects in this pile of shiny cardboard. Well, mostly shiny cardboard. And get you guys a little caught up. So just in case you didn't know what the Crystal Beasts do, one static effect that they all have is if they are a monster in my monster zone and they are destroyed by effect, battle, doesn't matter, then instead of allowing them to go to the discard pile, I can board them in the back row as a spell trap. So they all share that. So I'm just going to go over their like individualized effects. So if one of my Crystal Beasts is attacked and Amber Mammoth's on the field, I can switch the attack to him. So he's a little attack sponge, which is great because he's got that power. Ruby Carbuncle says when it's special summoned, I can special summon as many Crystal Beasts out of the back row to the front row as possible or as I want. And Sapphire Pegasus on a summon, special, normal, flip, doesn't matter. Lets me place one Crystal Beast monster from either my hand, my deck, or my graveyard back into the back row as a continuous spell. And again, normally I'm going to be pulling from the deck. It's going to make your deck run a little faster because you're going to be thinning. You're going to be increasing that base speed ratio. So that's my usual pull with that. The 3 Topaz Tigers, again, probably should have the supers up front. These guys are really cool. When they attack an opponent's monster, they gain 400 attack points during the damage calculation, during the damage step. So very cool there. Goblinberg, part of her needs to go into Utopia or start plays. Goblinberg is going to say when normal summoned, you may special summon a level 4 lower from your hand. If you do, change this card to defense position immediately after. Very cool. And then, of course, Summoner Monk. Cannot be tributed when this when this is normal or flip summoned, change it to defense mode. And once per turn, you can discard one spell card, special summon a level 4 from the deck, and it cannot attack this turn. So again, this is going to have to do with playing Xyz, or in this case also Lynx. So Summoner Monk, very good. The D-Mage and the Red Eyes, here for solely just their names. This is what we're going to use to go into Dragoon. It's going to be fantastic. Call by the Grave stops those hand traps. Target a monster in the opponent's graveyard. Banish it if you do. Until the end of the next turn, its effects are negated as well as the activated effects and effects on the field of monsters with the same original name. So again, you can play through things like Ash Blossom and whatever. It's all good. Crystal Beacon is going to take a look at your back row first. You need to have 2 or more Crystal Beasts in the spell trap zone to activate and resolve this card. When you play this, you'll special summon 1 Crystal Beast from your deck. Again, this is a famous way to get into the Ruby Carbuncle and then generate more advantage. You're going to have the Crystal Blessings. These allow you to target up to 2 Crystal Beasts that are in the discard pile, and then you place those cards face up in your spell trap zone as the crystals that they were meant to be. Crystal Promise will allow you to select a Crystal Beast in your spell trap zone and special summon it. Again, if Ruby Carbuncle happens to be in there, you can go ahead, hit the Crystal Promise, go ahead, move him back to the field, and jump anybody else as well. Or again, simply just play any one card. That's why this one's at 2 this time, she said. She said she wanted me to make sure to tell you guys, don't run that one at 3 in this build. It gets bricky. She's right. 3 copies of the Crystal Release. You equip this to a Crystal Beast monster, gives it 800 extra attack. And when this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can place 1 Crystal Beast monster from the deck face up into your spell trap zone as a continuous spell. And as you guys may have seen on yesterday's test hands, I kept equipping this and then going into my link plays to send it purposefully to go ahead and build up my back row. So that was always good. Double or Nothing is here for the Utopia play. Obviously, when one of your monsters' attack is negated, target the monster. It can make a second attack during this battle phase, and if it does, the attack is doubled during the damage step only. And again, with Utopia Double, already doubling them over to 5k, this is going to make for a 10,000 point Utopia. It's why we call it the 1/. It kind of reminds me of One Punch Man, which is kind of cool. Saitama. Woo! Anyway, that was annoying. I apologize for that. Feather Duster, clear up the back row. Make sure that you can go for the game. Reborn, good extender. The Gekis, she's playing 2 of them. And again, sometimes you need to just go ahead and wipe the field and there's just no other playing through it. Or sometimes you just don't need the third one. So 2 was her magic number here. Rare values. If you have 2 or more face-up crystal beasts in the spell trap zone, the opponent chooses 1 for you, sends it to the graveyard, and then you draw 2 cards. So it's kind of like a weird tutor, but again, this allows them to try to disarm Ruby Carbuncle, which could or could not be a good move on their part. You got the Red Eyes Fusion, and again, ton of text here. Fusion summon 1 fusion monster that lists Red Eyes as material in the extra deck. Using monsters from hand, deck, or field as material, and if you do, its name becomes Red Eyes Black Dragon. You cannot normal or special summon other monsters the turn you activate this. You can only activate 1 of these per turn. So again, that's fine. We're going to be using this only through the effect of Verde Anaconda, so not too bad. Makes it super searchable. And then last but not least, Upstart Goblin. Draw 1 card, opponent gains 1,000. And she said you're going to offset this with Dragoon and his effect anyway, so it doesn't even matter. So moving over to the extra deck, and again, this gets kind of wordy, and most of you guys already know these guys. So then you have the Red Eyes Dark Dragoon, Dark Magician plus Red Eyes Black, or any dragon effect. Cannot be destroyed by card effects. Neither player can target this with card effects. During your main phase, you can destroy 1 monster the opponent controls. If you do inflict damage to the opponent equal to the monster's original attack, you may use this effect a number of times, equal to the number of normal monsters used as fusion material for this. In this deck, it's 2. Once per turn, when a card or effect is activated, as a quick effect, discard 1 card, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy the card. And if you do that, then this card gains 1,000 attack points. So again, that's going to be a permanent attack bonus that this guy is going to continuously gain. And again, I don't know. I just play it, guys. It's good. Good stuff. You got Zeus, and again, Zeus is going to be one of those like Xyz evolution plays. So once per turn, if an Xyz monster battles this turn, you may use, you can Xyz summon Divine Arsenal Zeus by using 1 Xyz monster that you control as material. Doesn't even have to be the one that battled. You just have to have one that did battle. Transfer any materials from that card to this as well. Quick effect, detach 2 materials from this card. Send all other cards on the field to the graveyard. Once per turn, if another card you control is destroyed by battle or an opponent's card effect, you can attach 1 card from your hand deck or extra deck to this card as material. And again, kind of fantastic. And yeah, no, she should have definitely pulled it. Exiton Knight, a little more situational than Zeus, but easier to play it as a rank 4. Once per chain during your main phase or your opponent's battle phase, if your opponent has more total cards, counting the hand and field, than you, quick effect, detach material from this, destroy all other cards on the field, and the opponent takes no further damage for the turn. So again, 2 different situations, 2 different good cards. It's, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Obviously, we've got 2 copies of Utopia, her favorite illustration, and mine. When a monster declares an attack, we may detach 1 material from the card, negate the attack. If this card is targeted for an attack while it has no material, destroy it. So again, we're just using this. Again, we're going to Xyz evolve. One way is we're going to go from double into one of these. Double is going to say as a quick effect, we can detach material from this to add 1 double or nothing from the deck to the hand. Then special summon from the extra deck 1 Utopia Xyz monster except Utopia double. By using this face-up card you control as material, and if you do, the attack becomes doubled but cannot attack directly. This is treated as an Xyz summon. You will transfer all materials to the new card. You may only use this effect once per turn. So again, it's really good. It's transitional, and it makes sure that we get our hands on 1 for 1. That's all there is to it. That's all that is. Yeah. Number 60, Dagaris the Timeless. Just another way to go ahead and pump up. So it's any 2 4s. You can detach both materials, activate one of the following effects. Skip your next draw phase to draw 2, drop 1. Skip your next main phase to special summon 1 from the grave in defense. Or skip the battle phase of your next turn to double the attack of 1 monster you control until the end of the turn. You can only use this effect once per turn. So even if you could develop 2 of these, you only get it once per turn. It's okay, and that's why it's going to be a 1-of. You do have S39 Utopia the Lightning, and then for this, you can only, instead of using 3 level 5 lights, we can instead Xyz summon this by using a rank 4 Utopia monster we control as material, transferring the materials to this. Cannot be used as material for an Xyz summon itself. If this card battles if this card battles, the opponent cannot activate cards or effects until the end of the damage step. Once per chain during damage calculation. If this card battles an opponent's monster while this card has a Utopia Xyz monster as one of its materials, you can, as a quick effect, detach 2 materials from this card and have this card's attack become 5,000 during that damage calculation only. So it's a great mix of ancient gear, doubling over, and just being an all-around threat. I am going to kind of speed through these, though, as I do need a little bit of throat lozenge. Starting to get dry again. Boral Sword is here for you to punch over things. IP Masquerade to link during the opponent's turn, as well as giving the monster some protection by not being able to be destroyed by opponent card effects. Nightmares, all discard a card on summon. In order to do something, Cerberus will destroy a special summon monster, Phoenix of back row, and Unicorn will take out any card and put it back in the opponent's deck. Predator Verde Anaconda, probably the most important link in here. Any 2 effects. You can target 1 face-up monster on the field. It becomes dark until the end of the turn. You can pay 2k life and send 1 fusion or polymerization, normal or quick play spell from the deck to the grave. This effect becomes that spell's effect when that card is activated, and you may not special summon monsters for the remainder of the turn after this effect. You can only use each effect once per turn. And again, in decks where you're using Super Poly, this has more than 1 use because you can use this to go into Starving Venom Fusion. But in this case, we're using the Red Eyes Fusion to just go into our Dragoon. And then the last one is the Underworld Goddess. Again, 5 monsters. 4 plus. And we can use one of our opponent's monsters as part of the recipe. It stops our opponent from being able to summon monsters from the graveyard and gains a fairly blanket protection while negating monster effects. So, again, kind of worth its price. I don't want to take a guess at today's value. As far as the deck, I know that she didn't hold back on going for the rare cards, but I do think that she showed that if you throw enough non-archetypal cards into a deck, you can say it is that deck and just be absolutely hell-bent on destroying the opponent. So, very cool. Definitely something to take to locals. Maybe not a regionals, but definitely to your locals to have a lot of fun. I hope that you guys enjoyed this one. I hope you guys come back tomorrow while I try to do some test hands for this thing. And we'll see you then. Have a good one, my friends. Later.